All right, pre-algebra exam review, part 2. Find each sum or difference. Anytime you see minus a negative, change it to plus a positive. So you're adding numbers of two different signs together. That's negative 16 and a positive 12. And the method we use when we're adding numbers of different signs is to subtract them from each other, but keep the sign of the bigger one, which is the 16. So negative 4 is our answer. Now in 32, we're adding numbers with the same sign together. They're both negative. The method when they are the same sign is to add them together and keep their sign. So since they're negative, so will be our answer. So it'll be negative 29. Okay, on the next, since we're working with multiplying and dividing, as far as signs are concerned, what you need to remember is if one is negative and one is positive, the result is a negative number. In other words, if they have different signs, like 33 and 34, the result will be negative. If they have the same sign, like actually all the rest, both negative, both negative, both positive, the result will be positive. So different signs have a negative answer, same signs have a positive answer. So 7 times 5 is 35. We have a negative and a positive, so our answer is negative 35. 36 divided by 4 is 9. The signs are different, so our answer is negative. Okay, here our answer will be positive because we're doing a negative times a negative. 3 times 8 is 24. Put a 2 on top. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So we get a positive 114, and it's positive because they have the same sign. 72 divided by 9 is 8. Since they're both negative, the answer is positive. These are both positive, so the answer will also be positive. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So a positive 207 is the answer. Okay, 28 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Then we bring down the 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract and we get 0. So 14 is the answer, and it's positive because they're both positive to begin with. Same signs result in a positive answer. On the next three, we need to plug in the values they give us. So I plug in negative 3 for S, plug in 2 for R. We have to remember the order of operations. We do the multiplication first. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. 3 times 2 is 6. So we're subtracting, so we do keep, change, change. Now we're adding two numbers with the same sign together. So we add them together and keep the sign they both had, which is negative. Okay, on this one we plug in 2 for R, 5 for T. Absolute value of S is negative 3. Well, excuse me. They say do the absolute value of S, and S is negative 3. So let's follow the order of operations. 2 plus 5 is 7. And you treat the absolute value just like parentheses. So we'll go ahead and take care of that. The absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. We do multiplication next. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 minus 3 is 11. 41, we got to plug in 2 for R, negative 3 for S, negative 3 again for S, T is 5. So as I said, you got to follow the order of operations, do things in the right order. So we'll multiply first. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And whenever you have minus a negative, you change it to plus a positive. So we're adding two different signs together. We have a negative 6 and a positive 15. When we're adding different signs, we subtract them from each other. We keep the sign of the bigger one, which is the 15 in this case, so it becomes a positive 9. Okay. Find each sum or difference. Now, when we're adding and subtracting, we do have to have the same denominator. So on this one, we'll want to change the fifths to tenths. So we can multiply the top and bottom by 2, change this to 4 and 2 tenths, and we'll add to that 17 tenths. So 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 17 is 19 tenths. Now that's bigger than 1, so we need to rewrite that 19 tenths as a mixed number. So 10 goes into 19 one time with a remainder of 9. So again, I added the whole numbers. 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 17 is 19. I have to rewrite this as 1 and 9 tenths because 10 goes into 19 one time with 9 left over. 4 plus 1 is 5 and 9 tenths. Okay, similar question here. We need these to both have the same denominator. So I'll multiply the top and bottom of this one by 2. So I'll do 4 and 7/8 minus 0 and 2/8. You can write the 0 or not, either way. 4 minus 0 is 4. 7 minus 2 is 5/8. On 44, we have no ninths, we have no fraction. So what we usually did is we just said, okay, that's 4 and 0 ninths, because it has none, plus 5 and 5 ninths. 4 plus 5 is 9. 0 plus 5 is 5. So that adds up to 9 and 5 ninths. So if there is no fraction, just use the same denominator the other one has and put 0 on top, because you have none of them. Okay, this one takes a little more work, because we can't just turn 2 into a 7 or 7 into a 2. But the lowest number they both go into is 14. So I can multiply top and bottom of this one by 7, top and bottom of this one by 2. So I'll do 5, 1 times 7, or 2 times 7, minus 4 times 2 is 8, 7 times 2 is 14. Now I know it's been a long time, but when the bottom fraction is bigger, we can't take 8 away from 7, so we have to borrow. So I'll have to take 1 away from the 5, making it a 4, and I just add what's on the bottom, 14, to the top and make it 21 over 14. So when the bottom number is bigger than the one on top, you have to borrow. So you take 1 away from the whole number, you just add the denominator to the numerator. 14 plus 7 is 21. 4 minus 3 is 1. 21 minus 8 is 13. And we have our answer. Okay, multiplying or dividing, you do not have to have common denominators. Hallelujah. You do want to check and see if anything will cancel out diagonally. So like 5 and 16, they have nothing in common. 4 and 11, they have nothing in common. So we can just multiply across, tops times top, 55, bottom times bottom, 64. Now in 47, there's 2 steps we need to do. We can't do this with a mixed number, so we need to change it to an improper fraction. So first I'll say 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And to divide by a fraction, you have to multiply by its reciprocal. So we change it to a multiplication problem, but to do so we have to flip that fraction upside down. Now here you see we can cancel something out. 2 and 7 have nothing in common, but 3 and 3 do have 3 in common. So I divide them both by 3, and we get 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times 7 is 7. Okay, 48 we'll also need to change to an improper fraction. So we'll say 4 times 7 is 28, plus 5 is 33. Um, 4 and 33 have nothing in common. 5 and 7 have nothing in common, so we just multiply. 5 times 33 is 165. 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, 49 is similar to 47. We'll need to change them to improper fractions. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25. But to divide by a fraction, I have to multiply by the reciprocal. We've got some canceling out we can do here. 3 and 3 can both be divided by 3. 10 and 25 can both be divided by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5.